Hi, it's Patricia here. I think I'm coming live to you today. It is Thursday. I'm so excited to see you all here. We are just going to be waiting for a few people to join us. I'm a few minutes late. We've had some fun with our Mercury retrograde. This morning I was teaching my PowerHouse call and we had so many different disconnecting things happening with it. It was just hilarious because I was like, we're currently running the meditation series of Feng Shui, your Mercury retrograde, and it was. I think Mercury was laughing at me, going, "Ha ha ha, Patricia! You think because you're doing a meditation series that you are going to be free from it? No, we have different ideas." So one of the big parts about this is also just not taking. I suppose for me, it's just teaching about not taking it so seriously and not taking the whole idea of Mercury being things happening being bad. It's not the end of the world. I went off video for my call with my clients and we talked, and it actually pimped me up to really share more insights. So if you are listening live, please feel free to give me your say hello in the comments and let me know. If you're listening to the replay, you can let me know as well, just a replay in the comments. But if you are listening on the podcast, do let me know your comments. And anybody who's listening here, know that I do a weekly live Feng Shui question and answer session, which is really a supplementary, beautiful bonus opportunity for you to get some insights about how to use Feng Shui to transform your life into a beautiful, ease, flowing and joyous life that it can be. So really it's about embracing it. So thank you. We have a beautiful design. I'm in a beautiful place here in Greece right now. We have blue skies, which is beautiful, a few clouds and looking out at the sea. And I was telling my clients on my PowerHouse training call, one I do every week, that I totally luckily manifested this place that was very, very easy to Feng Shui. So there was lots of already remedies here that I could actually use to do it, because there's one supermarket in the town here where we live, and it's not ideal. It's not ideal Feng Shui in location. But we still did it, and obviously every house that I live in, we always work with the power of the Feng Shui. Now, I do have an opportunity each week for you to submit your questions for me. There are a lot of questions that have been submitted to me over the time, and I'm going to give some insights that we can answer. So let me see. I am going to go down here to the most recent ones that have been sent, because I know that people have been submitting me different questions, and I love this. I love this. And one that keeps coming in that I keep seeing is, how can I manifest love? So how can you manifest love using Feng Shui? If you have heard my story, one of the very first things that I did when I moved into my new apartment in Dublin, I was pretty broke, and I was earning €5 a day from teaching yoga classes, and I just got a mosquito. And I was in a place where life was pretty good. I was very happy doing what I was doing, but I did want to call in love. I wanted to call in someone to support me and be part of my life. And the one thing that I did do when I moved into that apartment, I set a very firm intention. So when it comes to calling in your dreams and intentions, one of the most important things for me is setting your intentions. And I do this in my PowerHouse program with my clients. I do it with my one-to-one clients. We do a lot of work around the power of intention. And I give an actual full program about that and releasing the blocks. So when I moved into that apartment, the first thing I said to my flatmate was, I'm not leaving here until I'm moving in with my husband. And she laughed her head off at me. She literally was rolling back, laughing. And I said, I'm deadly serious. Now, did I just do nothing then? I just set this intention and just sat back and went, I'm just going to wait for him to come and knock on the door. Now, jokingly, with this entire intention setting, that one flatmate at the time got really excited when, I said I had joined an online dating. So I was taking action in my external world. And this is an important thing to think about. When it comes to doing the Feng Shui, it's like we set our intention, we set our home up, but we also have to take action in our actual life. So when we did that, so I set my intention, I was going on doing dates and all of these different things. And I jokingly said, like, so your house is listening. And this is very, very potent when we're working with Feng Shui, because you want to be careful what you ask for. But I jokingly said to that flatmate, who laughed at me, saying, well, your dude is not going to come knocking on your front door. He's not going to come knocking on the front door. You can't just sit at home and do nothing. I set up my place for love, and I'm going to talk about that. But it's also just knowing that from Feng Shui perspective, there's 3 layers. Hi, Mary. Hi, Emily. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me live. It's super exciting to see you all here live. But one of the things that's so interesting is when it comes to Taoist philosophy and the philosophy that Feng Shui comes from, is that there's 3 layers to it. The first, and it basically our life is worked on these 3 aspects. So the first aspect of that is kind of like our higher, the reason that we're here. So we've all been birthed into this world with a divine purpose or a reason, and that is like 1/3 of like this higher purpose. The other third is our willpower. So we have an option to make choices in our life, make decisions, to take action, to not take action, to sit at home and do nothing, like to do whatever, like to go study or improve ourselves. There's that action part. And the third part, when it comes to this philosophy and how important Feng Shui is, it basically is impacting 1/3 of your life, your physical environment. So 33% of the outcomes and results that you're having are based on your actual physical environment. So for me at that time, calling in love, I was, first of all, had set the intention. I obviously had this feeling that I was going to call in the right person for me, which was Ken, and I had that intense kind of inner knowing. So that's the higher part. In the middle part, the action part, I was doing the online thing and all that. And then the environment part, I set it up. So let's go there. So please don't forget about the action taking. But if you're doing the action taking and nothing's happening, your physical environment is not lined up with it, that can be the blocker. And that's where, when I met Ken, everyone kind of started. And this is how I really started this whole practice, this business, was because people kept asking me, like, how did you meet Ken? And I'm like, well, I did this and I did this and I did this and I did the Feng Shui and I set my house up. And they're like, you did what? And I was like, yes. So I'm going to walk you through the setup that I did in my place to call in love with my apartment. Now, you may be listening to this and you may be happily married. You may be listening to this and you may be, I could improve my relationship. You may be listening to this and you're like, I could do with improving my our intimacy, or I could do with like improving communication with myself and my partner. You know, you may want your partner to move in with you. So you can start thinking about, like, wherever you're at, this is relevant, okay? This is very relevant at wherever you are in terms of relationship status, because it's not a bad thing to have your space set up for love, okay? And for not necessarily calling in love, for enhancing the existing relationship that you have. So the very first thing I did was I walked in and looked at my bedroom, and guess what was facing me when I opened up that front door? When I opened up the door to my bedroom, there was a giant mirror. And that mirror was like reflecting back at anything that came in. So of course I wasn't gonna be reflected out of my own bedroom, but it was mirroring everything out. Now, funny side story with this, my sister, is my sister's apartment. She had lived there for 9 years before I moved in. So she had lived there 9 years. I had got her bedroom. She'd moved to London. So I move in, there's this giant mirror. And for the 9 years she had been in this apartment, she had never been in a long-term relationship. Go figure, okay? So that, like, just these instances of the fact that this apartment did not have a proven record of attracting love, basically. Not at all. And I was changing it. So the first thing you saw when I walked in was this giant mirror. And when that giant mirror was sitting there, you'd walk in and see, and it would like reflect back out. Now, what's the first thing I did? I was like, first of all, I couldn't take it off the wall. So, and guess who had put that up? My dad, who doesn't know anything about Feng Shui, but he had put it up. So maybe he knew, and he was consciously going, no, Grace is going to have to focus on her studies. So that was the first thing. I got a curtain. I got a small net and I covered it. So I got this beautiful net that I just put up and I covered the mirror. So I could still use it, but it wasn't there reflecting. And in general, that's an important thing to do. The next thing I did was I looked at the setup of the bedroom. So I'm going to focus on bedroom for love because this is where we spend, first of all, eight, maybe up to 8 hours a day. So like nearly a third of our life is in our bedroom. It's important that it's supportive. And I will do one all about bedrooms as well. But that's the first thing is like the mirror was like not reflecting you. The next thing was setting up of the room. So at that stage, that bed, her bed had been pushed up against the wall because she wanted more space. And I was like, I don't really care about the space. I just want to make sure there's space for me and my partner to get into the bed. So at that time, I had no partner, but I still slept on my side of the bed. Yes, my side of the bed. And his side was left vacant, left empty. So it's important to realize that we can make this space for that love to enter in and create this space. So I made the space in the bedroom with me going to my side of the bed and on his side, leaving it empty. Not only did I do that, I also had 2 bedside tables. At that time, when I moved in, the bedside tables weren't left balanced on either side, and they represent support, but it's this sense of 2. You want to think in pairs, okay? You want to think in balance and harmony. I remember doing a bedroom doing a Feng Shui consultation for a house for a couple, and when we got to the bedroom, the bedside tables were actually one length to the next length, one this height and this height, totally imbalanced. And go figure, the person who wore the pants in the relationship and was the boss, their bedside table was so much higher than the other one. It was just this sense of like unbalance in the space, okay? So that was one thing, I made that balance. The other thing I did is I got 2 nice bedside table lamps and I put them both sides. So everything was very balanced and harmonized. Now I woke up one morning and I realized that I had got my dad to come with me to IKEA to purchase all of these little upgrades I wanted to make to my bedroom. And it's a 3-hour drive from my hometown to Dublin. And he came up and we went to IKEA and I got all the little upgrades that I wanted, which included the bedside tables and this like statue of a couple, lots of things I wanted to upgrade the house with. And I bought 1 rug when I was there. I didn't think about this until I got out of the bed one morning and I was like, hang on a minute, we should have equal on both sides. So I rang him and I was like, can you come back? I want to go to IKEA again. My dad came back 2 weeks later and we went to IKEA and got like 1 rug. We got 1 rug and like 2 things. He was like, you made me come all the way to get this rug. And I'm like, it's important. It needs to be balance and harmony for calling in love. So like, I love my dad and obviously he really loves Ken. So he's grateful. He partook in the pairing up of everything. So the two rugs on either side. Now, the other thing I did in that bedroom was I left his locker and bedside table empty. So there was no space, there was nothing in it. There was space for him to put in the thing, like keep it empty. So it was empty for him. I didn't put anything else in it. There was nothing in it. And then actually I did eventually buy a spare toothbrush. This was from one of my friends who was manifesting love at the time. And she's like, oh, I've already got a spare toothbrush. So I bought a spare toothbrush and I had it in there as well. I was like, so he has space to put his things. He's a toothbrush when he comes to stay. And I also totally wanted a taller person in my relationship. I wanted someone who was taller than me. I don't know why, but I wanted a taller man. And I left empty shelves in the top of my cupboards because I wanted someone that was taller. So that's important. The next thing was I took down the picture of a single woman that was in my bedroom. Because we want our bedroom we're calling in love, to have a picture of the type of relationship that you want. So the couple image that you want. We have done this so many times with different clients and it blows my mind when you walk into a bedroom and you see the artwork on the wall and you're like, one single boat, one stick in the ocean on its own, I've seen so many singular things. And then I've gone to the extreme of the singular. So then we can go to the extreme of the singular images that can be literally repelling love. For example, one client had a picture of a couple together and on the side there was this other person. And every relationship she'd been in, there'd been like a third party always hanging around, and literally that's what she was seeing. I've had other clients who've had pictures of this lovely picture of a woman like looking like this and a man's back turned to her. This room was just like literally repelling love. Like no men saw her. It was like their back was turned to her. She wasn't being seen. The other thing about that bedroom, actually, I think about it, it was full to the brim of spiritual stuff. There was spiritual statues. There was like so many spiritual ones. It was like a whole meditation area of every meditation book and spiritual book. And that was her love and marriage area of her home. And she basically was married to her spirituality. Like that was her life. You know, it was just all about that, and no men were seeing her because she was just so committed to it. So you need to make sure that your bedroom represents rest, romance, and relaxation. And if you are in a relationship, get a picture of you and your partner, like on your wedding day, on your engagement, on a day that was so positive and happy. I remember doing a consultation for a client, and as you walked into her bedroom, there was a picture of a woman on her own. And I was like, not ideal when you're walking into your bedroom, you're going to see this one singular woman image. But she was married, and it was this woman walking into the fog. It looked like a really cool arty picture. Personally, I was like, yeah, it's not ideal when you're walking into your bedroom, you see this like on your own, single woman on your own walking into your bedroom. So I was like, tell me about the picture. And she's like, actually, my husband took it of me when we just had a fight. And he stalked off, and I stormed off. And I'm like, okay, so before you walk into your bedroom every night, subconsciously, you are seeing a picture of you storming off and after a big fight with your husband. And then she was like, oh, yes, I think I'll get rid of that. So you really have to think about this. You have to think about like what it is that you want to call in. Make sure the imagery aligns with what you want to call in. For me, in my bedroom, I had this beautiful picture, like couple dancing. So it was a very symmetrical a statue of this couple dancing, and I had a pair of rose quartz hearts in it. So is it good to have a Buddha in your picture? No. You do not want spiritual statues. You do not want pictures of your grandparents. You do not pictures of your parents. You do not want people watching you in bed. Do you? Like your friends? Honestly, I've had seen every kind of picture you could possibly imagine in bedrooms, and you only want a picture of a couple if that's what you want. Like if you want a polyamorous relationship and you want loads of people, like go for the imagery of what you want. Like I am not the police, but I'm just telling you that like if you want to call in or you want to improve your current relationship, bring in a picture of you and that person, or a picture of what represents you and that person together, and what you want. We've had other images. Oh my God, like one client, we worked with her, and you know, I suppose the other thing, just to kind of put this, you can set this all up. When we work, like when I work with Feng Shui, there's different layers of it. This is very much kind of the surface layer. Okay, when I work with clients and we do their analysis and we do the personal report for their home, it's like there may be blocks for moving in for single women who want to call in love, and that is beyond the scope of what I can teach now, because I don't know. There are some houses that are divorce houses. There are some houses that are like single people houses, that when you move into that house, it will be very hard for you to call in love in the energy of that. And what we do in our program is I teach you how to put the exact things in to release that, to clear it, to fix it, to balance it. So it's important to realize as we work through this and you do it and you're like, okay, I have all my Feng Shui's done, I've done everything. It's like knowing that what I teach on these calls and what I share is really just the surface level. And when you do that, and it works for some people and it's like amazing. Other people, we need to go dive deeper and really get the proper balance flowing. So just knowing that it's like, this is not just a complete done and dusted when it comes to love, okay? There's the love and marriage area where the energy may be off as well. But where you to get started today is make space in your home. Look at the artwork you have up, make sure it's balanced, and make sure that nothing in your bedroom is like a distraction from what it should be. I have a picture of the ocean above our bed, and a pic from our wedding. I wouldn't have the ocean over my bed. It's very like the water. First of all, there's a Feng Shui perspective of like, we don't recommend bodies of water in images unless it's a specific elemental. So we work with 5 elements in Feng Shui, and with the 5 elements, fire, water, metal, earth are the specific elements. Having a picture like that could be doing great things, or it could be doing it could be doing the opposite. So I don't personally recommend it in general, because I'm like, if you love it, like, I'm not the police, I'm not going to come take it down. But over your head, don't recommend any artwork over your head in general, because it is going to impact your dreams and your sleep. And the water represents emotions. It can represent, like storms. Like if it's calm, that would be good. Maybe it helps you sleep. Play with it. But I wouldn't recommend it. If I went to someone's house and I saw the water over their bed, I'd be like, I would prefer nothing over your bed. Mary, to be honest, where should you put a water picture of the ocean? It depends. This is where the layers of Feng Shui become a little bit vague and complicated. I work with everyone in terms of your house has a specific energy imprint, and some parts of your home, it may be great for a water element, but actually others may be really bad. So I can't give you a specific answer to that one, unless I've done a personal report for your house, and I'll tell you that. And I have your personal report, and I'd be like, okay, this is exactly where you can put that. But other aspects of that, but without having that information, I can't recommend. It would just be, not good for me to, it's not it's just too risky for me, and not authentic. I do, if it depends on what you want. If you want artwork in your bedroom, you can definitely add artwork to your bedroom. But I would recommend it to be what it is that you want to call in terms of relationships. And that's where I would work with bedrooms. Susan had shared that her cat sleeps on the other side of her bed. Well, if you're happy with your cat sleeping there on the other side of your bed and you don't want to call in love, and if that's what you want, that's amazing. But if you do want to call in love, and you do want to have a relationship, I would say to you, no cats inside on the bed, and or you write affirmations that they're going to be very happy to call it in. So that would be the main thing. Tracy has asked some questions about pillowcases for her bedroom, and it means to be calm and serene. So your bedroom really needs to represent rest, romance, and relaxation. Those are the three things. So having like high, mad red colors, and then another thing was that room that I moved into, it had hot pink on 4 walls. Like it was like bright pink. So when I moved in, I actually toned it down because I wanted to be more of balance and harmony with a male and feminine energy, as opposed to be really, really feminine. The other things that I did about that bedroom was actually, I made €5 one day teaching a yoga class. I used to teach a lunchtime yoga class, and I had one woman come to the class that day. And I went over to, you may have TJ Maxx, I think. In Ireland, it's called TK Maxx. So I went to TK Maxx, and instead of buying my lunch with my money, I went over to TK Maxx and I bought extra hangers. So I had pink hangers, and they were what my clothes hung on. But I realized that I didn't have any space or any hangers for my guy. So I bought beautiful black ones, which I still actually have in Ireland in our wardrobe, and they were for him. So it's just about making sure that you create this balance and harmony. And even looking, if you're in a relationship, looking at the bedroom and be like, is there balance and harmony? I've done consultations walking into someone's house and being like, and then the lady be like, welcome to my bedroom. And I'm like, not our bedroom. And the whole room was painted pink, and there was like angels and fairies everywhere. And this man did not have a word in edgeways in this room. You would not even know that he slept in it. So that's like it creating a whole imbalance in the relationship as well. So this is important, just in terms of the Feng Shui, is just looking at where you can create balance and harmony in your bedroom. And then for calling in love, set it up, think in pairs, make sure it seems to be in balance. I'm just going to do one last story on this one, but I did a consultation for a lady, and we were working through her bedroom. We got to her bedroom, and I was like, oh my God, this is like perfect. Like I walked in, 2 bedside tables, 2 lamps, an amazing bed. The design was fantastic. And then she was like, oh, I have this picture of this one heart to call in love. And I'm like, one heart on its own, a little lonely heart on its own. You need a second one. And she was like, oh, okay. Maybe if I get a small heart and put it behind it. I was like, no, get a second one, pair it up. You want to think in pairs. And then she picked up this giant piece of rose quartz, and she's like, I've heard rose quartz is good for calling in love. And I'm like, yes, in pairs, not one piece single rock on your own. Like, let's just put this also into perspective. This woman was a very like high powered woman in corporate. She had like got everything, done everything. She was very strong and individual and like just go for it. And and she had this like big rock, heart on its own. Everything was singular. And I said to her, like, yeah, get another piece of rose quartz, like similar size. She's like, oh, I could get another small piece. I'm like, no, it needs to be balanced and harmony. And I had to just laugh at this because we turned around and there she had a pair of candlesticks. She's like, oh, I have this pair of candlesticks. They were 2 different sizes. And I was like, oh my God, we need balance. We need harmony. You don't want to be the ruling the roost in this relationship. You want it to be in balance and harmony. So really giving yourself an opportunity to go check out your bedroom, make sure it's set up for love, to call in love, and get your artwork that aligns with it, and that will help you call in love and balance your existing relationship. I've heard already people from just taking these steps making a huge difference in their homes with feng shuiing it. Okay. So Patty had said that she has a window above her bed. It needs to be blocked. What would be the best picture to put there? It needs to be large. So no pictures above your bed, Patty, as I said. And I wouldn't recommend your bed underneath a window. Can you shift it so it sits underneath a wall? Some rooms are just set up in certain ways, and this is less about kind of love. But yeah, you could definitely have sweet dreams is a great word. That's kind of like beyond the scope of calling in love today, but I hope that really helps in terms of like just recognizing setting up your bedroom for love, and then with the setup, maybe I'll do a bedroom session when people submit. But this question was one that was asked a lot from people, so I hope it helps you with calling in love. And please share your aha moments in the comments, or please do, if you're watching the replay, just let me know if there's any aha moments that you have, or do like and subscribe if you're listening on the podcast. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next Wednesday. I am doing the series of Mercury retrograde, or Feng Shui your Mercury retrograde. So we are working through each of the themes of the 9 areas. Feng Shui represents, your home represents nine areas of your home. Every part of your home represents a different part of your life. Today we touched on bedrooms and love, and that's part. There's actually also a love and marriage area, but I'm gone over time. But what I wanted to share is that, like, please do come and join me on those meditations. You'll have a lot of aha moments. You'll really connect with the energies of those different areas and get a little deeper understanding of feng shui, but also get clearer on your intentions so that we can optimize Mercury retrograde, get clear and release so that we can move forward with positive energy as we go forward into the new year. In the meantime, have an amazing day. Thank you for being here, and feel free to share this with anyone who you think or know is calling in love. And I will see you all on the next call for a feng shui in your Mercury retrograde next week. And if you're not already signed up to get the notifications for that, please do go and come into the Facebook group and go check out the events section, and you can join the group with the link below. Go to the notifications, you'll see the events, and sign up so you can get the notifications for them. In the meantime, have a great day, and see you soon. Bye.